Welcome to Star Bios, the podcast where we dive into the fascinating lives of Hollywood's most iconic stars. I'm your host, Casey Gold, and today we're shining the spotlight on the one and only Steve McQueen, a man whose rugged charm and undeniable talent captivated audiences around the world. From his humble beginnings in Indiana to his rise as a Hollywood superstar, Steve McQueen's life is a true rags-to-riches story that continues to inspire and intrigue us to this day. Born on March 24, 1930, in Beech Grove, Defied, Indiana, Steve McQueen was the son of William McQueen, a stunt pilot, and Barbara McQueen, a young woman with a passion for the arts. The early years of Steve's life were marked by instability and hardship, as his parents divorced when he was just 4 years old. His mother, struggling to make ends meet, sent Steve to live with his great-uncle, Claude, on a farm in Slater, Missouri. This rural upbringing would later influence Steve's love of the outdoors and his affinity for rugged, individualistic characters. As a young boy, Steve attended elementary school in Slater, where he developed a close bond with his great-uncle, who taught him how to hunt, fish, and ride horses. However, when Steve was 9 years old, his mother remarried, and he moved back to Indianapolis to live with her and his new stepfather, Victor Lundquist. The family's financial struggles continued, and Steve often found himself getting into mischief on the streets of Indianapolis. In 1943, when Steve was 13 years old, his family made the bold decision to move to Los Angeles, California, in search of better opportunities. They settled in a small apartment in the Echo Park neighborhood, where Steve attended Andrew Jackson High School. It was during this period that Steve began to develop his passion for acting, appearing in school plays, and discovering a talent for performance. However, Steve's teenage years were not without their challenges. He struggled with discipline and attendance, and in 1945, at the age of 15, he dropped out of high school and joined the Boys Republic, a reform school in Chino, California. This pivotal experience would teach Steve the value of discipline and hard work, as he was forced to conform to a strict regimen of study, work, and physical activity. Under the guidance of the school's drama teacher, Steve began to hone his craft, appearing in productions of Our Town and The Merchant of Venice. These early performances laid the foundation for his future success as an actor, and it was during this time that Steve discovered his true calling. As one of his classmates recalled, Steve was always getting into trouble, but when he was on stage, he came alive. As we explore the early life of Steve McQueen, we begin to see the seeds of his future success being sown. The struggles he faced, the people he met, and the experiences he had all contributed to the complex and captivating individual he would become. From his humble beginnings in Indiana to his formative years in Los Angeles, Steve McQueen was a young man on the move, driven by a restless energy and an insatiable desire for adventure. As Steve transitioned into adulthood, he began to pursue a career in acting, landing small roles on stage and screen. In 1952, he made his Broadway debut in the production A Hatful of Rain, followed by appearances on live television shows such as Studio One and Philco Television Playhouse. These early performances helped Steve own his craft and gain recognition within the industry. In the late 1950s, Steve started to make a name for himself in Hollywood, landing roles in films like Somebody Up There, Likes Me, and Never Love a Stranger. However, it was his breakout performance as Vin Tanner on the popular television series Wanted, Dead or Alive that brought him widespread recognition. The show's success ran from 1958 to 1961, and Steve's portrayal of the rugged, bounty-hunting hero cemented his status as a rising star. The early 1960s saw Steve's career gain momentum, with iconic roles in films like The Magnificent Seven, The Great Escape, and The Thomas Crown Affair. His performances were marked by a unique blend of charisma, vulnerability, and intensity, which captivated audiences and earned him critical acclaim. As film critic Pauline Kael noted, Steve McQueen is an actor who can make a character's silence speak louder than words. One of the key factors contributing to Steve's success was his willingness to take risks and challenge himself as an actor. He was drawn to complex, nuanced characters that allowed him to explore the depths of human emotion. This is evident in his portrayal of Captain Virgil Hiltz in The Great Escape, where he brought a sense of humor and humanity to the role of a prisoner of war day. Steve's personal life during this period was also marked by significant changes. In 1956, he married actress Neil Adams, with whom he had 2 children, Chad and Terry. The couple's relationship was tumultuous at times, but they shared a deep love for each other and supported Steve's burgeoning career. As the 1960s drew to a close, Steve McQueen had solidified his position as one of Hollywood's leading men. His iconic roles, combined with his rugged charm and undeniable talent, had captured the hearts of audiences worldwide. However, this period of success was not without its challenges, and Steve would soon face new obstacles that would test his resolve and force him to re-evaluate his priorities. As the 1970s began, Steve McQueen was at the height of his career, having solidified his position as one of Hollywood's leading men. However, this period of success was not without its challenges. He faced intense media scrutiny, and his personal life was marred by struggles with addiction and relationships. In 1972, he divorced his first wife, Neil Adams, after 16 years of marriage, citing irreconcilable differences. Despite these personal struggles, Steve continued to deliver iconic performances on screen. Films like The Getaway and Papillon showcased his unique blend of charisma and intensity, cementing his status as a Hollywood legend. His portrayal of Henri Charrière in Papillon is particularly notable, as he brought a sense of depth and nuance to the role of a prisoner determined to escape. In the late 1970s, Steve began to reevaluate his priorities and seek a more balanced life. He married model Barbara Minty in 1980, and the couple shared a deep love for each other. Steve also became increasingly interested in racing and flying, finding solace in these pursuits as he navigated the challenges of Hollywood's changing landscape. One of the most significant factors contributing to Steve's quest for redemption was his diagnosis with mesothelioma, a rare form of cancer caused by asbestos exposure. In 1979, he underwent surgery to remove a tumor from his lung, but the disease had already spread. Faced with his own mortality, Steve began to re-examine his life and prioritize what truly mattered. In the final years of his life, Steve McQueen continued to act, albeit at a slower pace. Films like Tom Horn and The Towering Inferno showcased his enduring talent, but he was no longer the dominant force in Hollywood that he once was. Instead, he focused on his personal life, cherishing time with his loved ones, and pursuing his passions. As Steve McQueen's life drew to a close, he reflected on his legacy and the impact he had on the film industry. He remained humble and grateful for the opportunities he had been given, acknowledging that his success was not solely his own, but also the result of the hard work and dedication of those around him. Steve McQueen passed away on November 7, 1980, at the age of 50, leaving behind a legacy as one of Hollywood's most iconic actors. His remarkable journey, marked by both triumph and struggle, serves as a testament to the power of resilience and determination. As we remember Steve McQueen, we honor not only his contributions to film, but also the enduring spirit of a man who continued to inspire audiences with his performances, even in the face of adversity. In conclusion, Steve McQueen's later life was marked by both personal struggles and professional triumphs. Despite facing significant challenges, he remained committed to his craft, delivering iconic performances that continue to captivate audiences today. As we reflect on his remarkable journey, we are reminded of the enduring power of talent, perseverance, and the human spirit. That's all for today's Star Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Casey Gold reminding you to keep shooting for the stars.